All right, y'all. Welcome to this week's AMA. We got some cool stuff going on. Now, the AMA, if you've never been on it before, the way that this works is you can ask any question that you have. So if you have a question that's been like burning, I want to know how to do this, how to use this, or like I have a question about like I have a talk coming up, or I just had a talk, and anything that's on your mind that's like, how do I get the answer? All you got to do is go down to where it says reactions on the bottom and do the raise your hand feature. It'll create a queue and we'll go through it. If you have a question, feel free to ask it. And again, no bad questions. Some people like to come onto our AMAs and they don't have a question. They just want to go, I heard that Amani's here. He's going to ask a good question probably. So I'm going to listen and learn and just absorb. And this is how you kind of keep track of what other questions people are asking. We've had people discover features and functionalities of our tool that they didn't know about or strategies they didn't know about. So we're here for you. Now, a couple of quick announcements. If you have not, so actually, let me do a quick check in the chat. Give me a yes if you've already jumped into our Talkadot community, and give me a no if you have no idea what I'm talking about. So give me a yes in the chat if you've jumped over to the community. Give me a no if you have not in the chat. So someone says, yes, I think so. No, I haven't, but I know what it is. Okay, that's really, really good. Okay, cool. Yes, poking yes. So if you have not done so yet, when you log into your app now, you're gonna notice that we have something that says community right here on the upper right-hand corner. If you click over to that, the first time you click on it, it's gonna ask you to log in to grant access. Just go ahead and log in with your Talkadot credentials. But this is our new community. We're super excited about it. This is where you're gonna find out when's the next AMA, what's the link for it, all this stuff. Join the virtual event. All this is gonna be here. All of our cool Talkadot Pro resources are in the Pro resource section. So if you want to find out, like, I want to get a list of the ASAEs, I want to get email templates, I want to get like how to get speaking up, all this cool stuff is going to be right here. And you can meet other people in the say hello section on the left. We got so many cool speakers that are introducing themselves and saying hello. So if you want to get connected with other speakers, this is where you're going to do so. And also, if you have questions, post them in here. The community will jump in. I'm in there jumping in. So this is going to be like our resource page for all things that you might want to connect with other speakers, ask questions, get resources. It'll all be here. And on the left-hand side are the different kind of categories that we're doing. So we just launched this. We're super excited about it. So if you've not come on over, please jump in and make sure the very first thing to do is go to the say hello and introduce yourself, because this is how we get to find fun new stuff. So that's first announcement. Second announcement, Jess didn't know I was going to pin her. I'm going to spotlight her for everyone. Boom, this is Jess, everybody. For those of you who don't know Jess, because none of you would know Jess because she just started with us today. She's the newest member of the Talkadot team. Talkadot is growing and we're trying to constantly look for ways to get better and service you. And Jess is going to be here to help support making sure you're using our tool correctly, answering questions, and doing all of that fun stuff. So Jess is learning by jumping in, and I just want to acknowledge her because she is so great and so amazing, and I can't wait for all of you to meet her. So if you start getting messages from Bree, I mean, you're going to get messages from Bree, but you get messages from Jess. Give Jess the same warm welcome that you've given everyone on our team because she's here to support you and help you. So I just wanted to give her some flowers and welcome her officially. So can we get like a little something for Jess as she comes into the fam? Okay, cool. And also, y'all all know Marissa too. Like, we got some new people here. Have y'all seen? I mean, just to make sure. I know Marissa's been with the fam, but if y'all have not seen Marissa, she's probably been reaching out and sending you wonderful messages and being a rock star. If you went to NSA Thrive, she was there. She'll be at Influence. She is just the absolute bee's knees. So she's going to be helping support you as well, making sure you know about all our cool features, know that you're using our tool as best as you possibly can, getting you over into our community. She's just the bestest. With that said, let's jump in to the Q&A portion. And if you have any questions at all, go ahead and raise your hand. If you can't raise your hand, you can throw them in the chat, and I'll do my best to go through them. So with that said, Amani, let's jump in, brother.
All right. So happy to be here. My question, I have several questions. I'm just gonna ask one at a time. Is based on what you've seen recently and currently, what
Mhm.
have been best uses for Talkadot for a professor to use within their teaching classroom environment?
Oh, that's a great question. So, do you know Frederick Keenan by chance?
Not yet.
Okay, he's a Talkadot user. I would encourage you connecting with him. He's a professor as well, and he uses it in his classroom. And then there's another gentleman named Solomon Wilkins who I'd want to introduce you to. He does some more like in-house education, not professorial, but he does like he has an ERG and he does education for his ERG within his company. So those are two people I'm thinking about that I would connect you with because they're more day to day in that world. But number one, I think I would use it internally for is if I'm a professor, is this education that I'm trying to give to them landing? Did they like it? Especially if I'm trying something new, right? So I think the curiosity of feedback is numero uno. Of as a professor, as a teacher, I'm constantly teaching in new ways. What do they like? What do they don't like? So I'd be using Talkadot that way. I would recommend if using it in the classroom to turn off the lead feature, like do you book paid speakers? Because you know for sure they don't because they're students, right?
Right. Right.
So I would turn that off and just use it for feedback. So that's number one. Number two, I would use it to build the brand of the teacher. Because there's teachers, but then there's good teachers, and then there's great teachers, right? So saying like, hey, I just taught my students today about these three theories. I'm not a professor, so you're going to see where my knowledge fails, right? But I taught them about this theory, and it was so awesome to see, you know, 89% of them found it valuable. So the same way you would promote the impact, I would do that. If I was a teacher or trying to become an educator that became like a teacher of the year or something, I would have my own personal blog probably where I would talk about the things that are important, or LinkedIn. But I would post those in the same way post speaking engagement. I'm using it. I would also share that with my dean, or I'd share that like, hey, I want to share my I what I would do personally, like I'm like gaming my own system right now, but I would create a separate Talkadot account that was just for my professorial work.
Uh,
And then another Talkadot account that's for my professional speaking. Because if I have one that's just for my professorial work, you can use the public profile feature and share with like your dean at the end of a semester. Here's the impact I made this semester, right? And for those of you unfamiliar with the public profile, let me just share that with you because I think this would be helpful for everyone to see. If you click on, let me log out and then log back in. If you click on your face and then go to your public profile right here on the top right corner, it's going to take an aggregate of all of your data, right? So you can say like, hey, this semester I had, 400 total responses from my X amount of total students because it keeps total responses, not respondents, right? So like I had like, 40 students, I'm making the number up. They gave me feedback 10 times, so I've got 400 responses, but this is how valuable my work is. Here's how many people want to, come back to my class, whether it's in person or virtual. And then you would have links to each one of the classes in which you did it. And I would send this report to like my deans or other people to be like, hey, I just want to let you know this was the impact I measured in the classroom. And they're probably going to be like, who does that? You're a gem. You Here's tenure. Don't go nowhere.
one
So
can
anyway,
wish. One
that's
can
what I would
wish.
say. But I would talk to Frederick and Solomon because they're more in it. But that's what I would recommend.
Okay, I'll look for them. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. You know what you could do, Amani? You could go into the community and say, "Hey, is anyone here a professor?" And then all of our wonderful community members would be like, "Yeah, I am. How are you?"
Done.
Uh, uh, Amanda, if I could just add something real quick, I was a guest lecturer. Oh,
Yeah, jump in
sorry.
there.
I was going to share. I was a guest lecturer in at Loyola, and they wanted me to do a talk across three classes around the introduction to AI. And so I spoke to all three classes, and I used Talkadot to only ask for feedback. But the question I asked at the end was, "What gets you excited about AI now after this presentation, and what concerns do you still have about AI?" And so what I did is I basically took all that feedback and created a summary for the professors and for the dean. And so like just to continue the conversation with the students, right? So even though my talk went in there and was like a turning point for them, it was still kind of to put not only my brand in their work, but also to extend the work that they could do as professors into the classroom. And so that's another way that I was able to use Talkadot to engage the students afterwards, but still continue the conversations for the professors and the dean as well.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
Love it. Yeah. We got way smarter people than me in this group. Always remember that. Thank you for sharing that, Eric. That was great. Thank you, Marty. If you have any other questions, please reach out. Post in the community. Happy to help support, brother. Neela, what's going on?
I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, and I'm sorry for emailing you so late at night. But okay, so my question is back to the speaker leads, and I'm wondering,
Yes.
I know there's a code for us for 1 month, but is it that we have to put our credit card number in and we have to cancel it after that month is what I'm.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. So the way it works is you'll put in your credit card number and then you'll put in our promo code to the My Speaker Leads. And for those of you who are like, wait, what is she talking about? My Speaker Leads is a actually, I'll just show you real quick in case anyone's wondering. I know this is a little more background than your question, Nilu, but the answer is yes to what you said. So
Okay.
My Speaker Leads gives you a spreadsheet like this that's got list of events, who's speaking, where they're at. You might be like, ooh, I want to speak to the, I don't know, what is it? Oh, there was one I was just looking at. That's the one. The Maryland Bank Association. Yeah, I probably want to speak to that. Like, that sounds pretty dope. So it gives you all of their information for how to reach out to them. So the way that you sign up with them is if you're a pro member, you would sign up for an account, put in your credit card information, but then use our promo code and you'll get 1 month free. They won't bill you. Then if you want to continue with them, which is like $20 a month, you can. If you want to cancel it because you got your 400 leads and you're a happy camper, you can.
Great. Thank you. And you can ignore my.
You can never beat a dead horse with us, Nilu, okay? If just know we want to get back to you and answer all your questions. And if you have the question, we want to give you the answer.
Thank you so much. I
yes.
appreciate it.
And My Speaker Leads, just so everyone knows, if you do go to their page to register right now, this is what they're currently doing. So this is what they currently said is, I had a conversation with Bobby Carlton, who's the person in charge. So if you go to join right here, join. Oh, I'm already signed in. Hold on, let me sign out. Okay.
Wait, is Bobby's not the person for this, right? Bobby's
She
for
is.
women. She's also
Innovation Women is My Speaker Leads. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
You should hit her up if you know her already. Yeah.
Well, I'm paid for Innovation Women.
I don't know if Innovation Women immediately gets you in. I think they're two separate properties, but that's a Bobby question, not an Orel question.
Okay.
But yes, Bobby Carlton is the person behind My Speaker Leads. Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to sign up for this, go to My Speaker Leads and hit sign up. You put in your email address and then say who referred you. Just here, put Talkadot, okay? When you hit submit here. And what they're doing is to make sure that not like 6 billion people have access to it, they're like very selective and slowly letting people in. Bobby and her team has assured us that because we are partners with them, they will let our people in because we're good humans and good people. So you just put Talkadot, you should get an email from them, maybe not immediately. I don't think that's how it works. I think it might be over like a week or a few days. You can reach out to them, but they will let us in. And then when they let you in, make sure to register and use the Talkadot promo code. If you want to know where the Talkadot promo code is, you can go into our community under our resources section. You can go right here where it says Talkadot Pro Resources and then scroll down, or you can go into the search function, but you can go to My Speaker Leads right here. And then if I click see more, which I'm not gonna do, but if you are a pro user, you could click on it and then get access to the promo code and give it a little try. All right, Steve, what's going on, brother?
Thank you, Arl. Good idea, bad idea. Using a survey, I've got a mindset assessment.
Yes.
As a bonus. I used it a couple of weeks ago, and then it's just, you know how we tell people when you're done, put your phone down so I know you're done.
Yep.
But then they're kind
still
of
doing the survey.
Like good idea, bad idea.
Here's what I would recommend personally, based on like, and I've had this conversation with other people. I would recommend that assessment being part of your email follow-up sequence, not the bonus. The
Yeah.
bonus is something that it's like, I've got it. I can now like a video, a PDF, another additional survey. What you experienced is what other people have experienced.
Yeah.
So I would add that as that email follow-up. And we've got the Zapier integration, so you can like, connect it in, but that's my recommendation.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. YB, what's up, brother?
Peace and blessings. Good to see you all.
Always good. I like the beard game, by the way.
Hey, listen,
Beard game strong right now.
I'm turning into Ron Isley. I know it don't look like it right now, but I tell people all the time, this right here, this is Rob Youngblood, and I'm Ron Youngblood. So when you see me with the beard, I'm Ron. I'm working on getting all this grayed out. So we'll see.
I dig it, man. What's going on, brother?
My question is, I'm beginning to do a weekly series on LinkedIn audio, every Wednesday night, 7 p.m.
Mhm.
I heard something that made me think I should incorporate Talkadot as a way to gather feedback. Is that something you've heard being done? And if so, how would you recommend me go about doing it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So yes, you can use this for like LinkedIn Lives, Facebook Live, YouTube Lives. Here's what I would recommend. I'm going to share my screen here. Going to my account. What I would recommend doing for any kind of LinkedIn Live, do you want feedback in general for your LinkedIn Lives, or is each individual session something that you'd want individual feedback for?
Yeah, it'll be individual sessions because I interview people, and these are LinkedIn audio. So I hadn't leveraged. I mean, I have LinkedIn Live, but I'm doing LinkedIn audio. So obviously
You're
they
doing
can't
audio.
see the code. Right, they can't
Yeah.
see the code, but I can possibly promote the code. I'm just figuring out the best case scenario
Mhm.
how to do that. But yeah, every week I have a different speaker, so
Yep.
I would want to get feedback on the speaker, but also on the value that they received from that, and then obviously get the
Copy.
contact information as well.
Yeah, copy. Yeah. So the only thing I would make sure to do is so I would create a slide then for
Mhm.
each one of your guests. I'd create a
Okay.
separate slide for each. So like if you're having like, uh, Dave Webb, and Dave Webb is your guest, right? So I would create like a code that says Webb or Dave right up
Okay.
here. And
Yeah.
then I would make sure to just go to the actions, go to edit event, and then click advanced settings, and then make sure to lock that code for Webb in that
Okay.
case.
Okay.
And the reason why you want to lock the code is because it is a LinkedIn Live. People are going to watch it a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, maybe, right? So the lock a code function takes data when it comes in at any time frame
Got it.
and throws it into this one report,
Got it.
right?
That's good.
So step one, make sure to lock the code. And then step two, the other thing that I would do is I would make sure to use the link. So after you create your slide here with Talkadot, click on any of these three dots and it'll say copy code link, right? So I would copy that code link and I would put that into the description of it. Like, hey, I'm going to be speaking to, Dave Webb today. He's going to be teaching us about how to make the best thing possible. I'm not sure what Dave talks about. I was trying to pull my memory banks, Dave, and I did it. So I was gonna say something random like he's gonna show you how to make a grilled cheese sandwich with a brick, right? And then I would put the link to give feedback to Dave in the description or in like post after the audio posts or whatnot. You could just put that link in so people can click on it and then access it.
And so for every speaker that I interview, I should have a different link for each individual. Is that accurate?
I would recommend that. Yeah.
Right, wonderful. Perfect.
Now, the only thing I would say is like I'll go on a podcast and I can create like, my code could be podcast. I just want to know in general how I'm doing. But if you want to know specifically how each one goes, separate side is the way to go.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you, YB.
Mhm.
Rebecca, what's going on?
Hey, so I just learned something new from you that you can turn off the request for referrals. That's a little button that you turn on and off, correct?
Request for do you book paid speakers is what you're talking about?
Yes.
That question?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
turn that off. Do you know how to
Okay.
turn it off or do you want me to show you?
Oh yeah, sure. Show me. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Happy to do so. Okay. So this is why we do these. Makes me happy. I love showing these things. Okay. So when you create your slide here, when you go to add another Talkadot code, the very first question is, do you want to collect leads and email addresses? It's default set to yes.
Okay.
If you check no, and let's just I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
And we'll just make it Rebecca. Did I spell that? I spelled that wrong, probably.
Yeah.
Hold on. Did I get it? Oh, I got it right. Yay. Okay, I spelled it right. Okay, testing. We just put up this red box to say, are you sure? You can just leave that there. That's just to get your, because if you check that, you're not collecting any personal information.
Okay. All right.
You're not getting, you're just getting feedback, right? So I go
I see.
here, and then we're good to go.
So you have no idea who said what. It's not gonna.
That's
you won't
right. So
get names, you won't get anything.
Yeah, it'll look like this, right?
All right.
So here is an example of a presentation I did where I didn't collect any personal information. So if I go here to view testimonial data, there's nothing there.
Okay, so tell me why you made that choice in this situation, please.
Yeah, so some people want to collect personal information, some people don't. So I'll give you an example. That let's say you're speaking to a group of the same people 5 times in a row, right? You're doing like a training to the same group of people. The first time and second time you ask for their personal information and if they book speakers, but you don't need to do it the third, fourth, and fifth time. You just need the data. So that's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, there are some clients that have a very strict, you cannot collect PI, personal information. Like you cannot, we will not let you do it, but you're like, well, I still want the data. So that's why.
Great. Okay. That was my question then. So I should ask, I'm presenting to a regional group of, they're all part of the same banking system. And
yes, in my opinion,
yes, go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you my opinion before you finish your question, because I think I knew where you're going, but I don't want to jump in.
Well, so they're all employees of the same master corporation, just from a number of different states coming together. 20% of them are leaders, and there's one person, of course, in the group that's hired me. So I promised him that I would give feedback, and we already have a post meeting scheduled.
Yes. So I would definitely try to still use like that. They're like, if there are people coming from different places,
yes,
I would still keep it on. Typically, if your client has a no, typically, not always, typically if they have a strict no personal information, they will tell you. If they've not told you, I would just keep the lead generation on, because remember, our survey moves in different directions based on how they answer. We are going to be releasing a feature, just so you're aware, in our next what's called dev cycle, which is when we change things, where you're going to have a third option, right? So right now it's collect personal information or don't collect personal information. But we've gotten feedback where people are like, well, I want to collect their email, I just don't want to ask them if they book speakers. So what do I do in that scenario? And we're like, yeah, that's great. We're going to build that. So that's going to be coming out so that you'll have the option of emails and leads, just emails, no leads, and then no personal information whatsoever.
I see. Okay. So you don't think that I should ask him because he might say no?
So this is very important. I'm going to tell you what a rel does.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why a rel does it, but you have to do what you feel most comfortable with, right?
Okay.
I don't. I'll just do it and do it. And the reason why is because I know that I'm going to get them data, I'm going to get them stuff, but they don't know what the Talkadot report looks like. So if you start saying things like, hey, I'm going to do this survey and I'm going to collect everyone's personal information, it might create a unnecessarily warning trigger that goes, ooh, don't do that. Versus I did it. And then if they go, hey, and this has never happened to my knowledge to anyone, hey, don't do that. You'd be like, okay, cool, I'll delete it, no problem. I'm never going to email them. You'll never get anything, but that's never happened. Typically people are very happy with it. So I would let them know you're doing it if you'd like. And then that's it. That's fine.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome very much. Dave Webb. What's going on, brother?
All right. I just got done speaking on making grilled cheese sandwiches. So
with a brick. You got to do it with a brick. That's the key.
With a brick.
You got it. The brick presses the bread. It makes it nice and delicious.
I'll have to remember that. So thank you. I have just maybe a lower level question. So I've used the same QR code for every presentation I get, I just separate the data by dates of my gigs. And now I want to change out the free gift. I have 3 handouts that align with the book that I coach on,
Yes.
and I've updated my handouts, but is it possible to not have to change the QR code and upload 3 different handouts?
Do you want to give out all 3 of the handouts, or do you want to give out one handout in one scenario, another handout in another, and another?
Yeah, so right now, when they put in my code, they get the 3 digital handouts of the paper handouts they get in the session.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to update and upgrade those to give, I've made improvements to those 3 handouts. I'm just wondering, is there a way to just keep my current slide intact and just upload 3 new handouts?
100%. Yeah. So here's how you would do that. Great question. And so let's say the code you were using was summertime, right? Just for illustrative purposes.
Yeah.
All you would want to do is click on the 3 dots and go to edit code. And then on step 3, you would just either A, upload the new thing, or paste in the link. Typically when people have like 3 PDFs, they'll put in like a they'll upload the 3 PDFs to a Dropbox and then put the Dropbox link there. You can do that and then hit next. And then when it spins like that, you can now use the exact same slide and code, but now it's going to give away the updated bonuses. So you can 100% do that. Yeah.
And that middle step might be where I was missing. Does it have to be in Dropbox or do I have to put them all together in as one PDF?
Yeah, great question. So right now you can upload 3 separate files into the system. You have a choice of one link or one file, right?
Okay.
So
That's
if you did, yeah. So typically if you want to like give away 3 things,
Sure.
I would recommend uploading those 3 things to either a Google Drive, a Dropbox link, some folder, and then pasting the link to the folder. And then when people get the link, it'll send them to the Dropbox folder, and then they can download the 3 individual files.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great question.
All right, thanks.
That one comes up a lot, actually. I'm just like thinking about like people like, I want to give away more than one thing. So like you're making me have a mental note of like, we should probably describe that process a little bit more easily. So thank you for asking that, because it has come up before. So appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, Kenneth. And then after Kenneth, I'm going to go to Holly. All right. Kenneth, can you hear me?
Good for you. Can you see me?
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Well, I don't know what happened, but I shot this into the chat, and basically I did a keynote last week. On Thursday. I need to really get back to these people as a follow-up today. And was favorable. About 96% of people liked it. 93% said they want to hear me again. I had about 128 responses. So I need to go in and find, you have a video on how to do this process? I know I've read some pieces about some scripts and some templates to follow up with. Do you have something specific so I don't bog down the group with trying to get into details?
100%. Number 1, are you a light or pro user? Pro. Okay, so a couple of things that you should be aware of that will help you with this. The first thing is, have you gone into your settings and turned on your email follow-ups yet? Have you done that?
I know that about social media, but I don't know if I turned on my email follow-ups.
Okay, great. So for everyone this is a pro feature. So if you're a light user, I recommend considering pro for this one feature alone. It's going to change your life in lots of positive ways. So you want to go into your settings. You just click on this thing and go to settings, and then scroll down to email campaign settings and turn those on. What this will do is every single time you speak, your booking leads, your email opt-in leads, and your referral leads will get an automatic email from our system. Now, your email opt-in leads, if you click on these 3 dots and go to view email template, you'll see the email that they'll get. So it'll say something like, hey, person's name, thanks so much for attending my session. I hope you did find it helpful. If you gave away a bonus, right? If you gave them something, we're going to give them the link to the bonus in the email. Wanted to make sure you had access to the bonus I mentioned. Here it is. Now, if you didn't upload a bonus, they won't get that part. The system will automatically.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I did something a little different because I had a book and I wanted to download my book through a QR code that I offered to them. So I didn't upload a gift through Talkadot. I did it through a QR code I put on the back of a document I gave them. So
is the book an ebook that they're getting?
It's ebook, yeah.
Okay. Now, is it something they're paying for? Or is it free?
I gave it to them for free.
Okay. Now, here's what I might recommend to maybe like ease your workflow a little bit. I'm gonna jump back to this in a moment. What I would recommend doing in the future, obviously we can't go into the past, but for your Talkadot slide, right? So this is your slide here. I would go to the edit and I would put a direct link to that book in step 3. That way they don't have to do 2 QR codes. They give you feedback with Talkadot, and then wherever that QR code was going to send them, you just send like here, I'll just put it here, edit code. So it could be like, kennethsbook.com, right? Whatever is the link that QR code sends them to, because this way people will give you feedback, and as a thank you for them giving you their feedback, they can get access to your book. And it would streamline your process because one, when they're done giving feedback, the link for them to access the book will show up at the end of the feedback flow. And they'll also get an email from us with a link to get the book as well.
Now, for example, if I, by some measure of brilliance, turned on these 3 pieces you're telling me, I don't know if they received anything or not. So when I go in and I say that see that they're on, that means Talkadot's already sent thank you. Am I right or wrong?
That is correct. If it's already toggled to on, then an email has been sent to everyone. At least one touch point has been sent to every single person.
Then I still need to be able to find some context of what I need to, how I should follow up, even with that.
100%. Yeah. So that was step 1. And one thing I just want to point out too, if you want to change the email that the people reply to, you can just click right here and make that like whatever email address you want people to reply to. I just wanted to point that out because some people were asking us about that.
I got it. Right? Thank you.
Now, if you go to the community section in our system and you go down to Pro Resources, do you see email templates right here? I'm going to share it. How do I, hold on, let me share this link. That's going to be the templates that I would recommend using to follow up with folks. So I just put the link in the chat for this right here. So that's going to be a Google Doc that's got some examples of follow-up emails that you can copy, edit, and change. It's going to be a view-only Google Doc, so just make sure to make a copy of it so you can edit it and do whatever you like with it. But that's where I would recommend at least starting with. Everyone's going to have a unique situation, but that could be a great starting point for you for creating templates to reach out to folks.
Thanks.
You are very welcome. I hope the outreach is fruitful.
You got to believe even a blind hog can grab an acorn here and there. So I figure I'll get something out of it pretty good.
Could be the best phrase I've ever. I don't know if I've ever heard a better quote in my entire life than that one right there. I'm going to start. Hold on. Even a blind hawk can grab an acorn every now and then.
Yeah, because a hog will smell it. I mean, an acorn will drop and a hog will get it.
Hey, listen. Oh, hog. I said hawk. Hog. Okay.
No,
I'm using that.
I'm
using that in the future. That's brilliant. I usually say like, hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day, but that one's even better. All right, cool. We had a question that said, how did you start and gain traction with these Q&A sessions? I want to do something similar with my audience of parents and families who want to raise money, smart adults, but fear of them not showing up is holding me back. Mindset, I know, but curious, what can I plan for a map out ahead of time? And what can I do beyond being consistent and sending reminders I can do to make it valuable use for time for everyone? Yeah, great question. Great question. I have 100% done these Q&A and one person showed up. Okay. That is the worst, by the way. I would prefer 0 people to show up, because when one person shows up, then you got to do the, it's the NBA regular season just ended, so a lot of people is looking at the playoffs right now. You just start saying stuff. But this is a couple of things about the Q&A that I've noticed us doing it. So number one, 100% that's going to happen. Like, it's just going to happen. Instead of thinking it as, oh, those people are going to feel bad, this is how I think about it now. Let's say LeBron James was doing a Q&A, right? LeBron James was doing a Q&A, and you registered for it, and you showed up, and it was just you and LeBron James in the Q&A, and no one else showed up. Would you be like, yo, this is crap? Or would you be like, I get to ask LeBron any question that I want about basketball? Let's go, right? So that's the mindset shift. Instead of it being like, oh, I'm embarrassed because no one else showed up, it's like, yo, isn't this great? I can answer any and all questions that you have. Or if there's two people, hey, I can go as deep as I want. This is wonderful. Now, if a bunch of people show up, isn't it great we get to learn from everyone? See what I'm saying there? Right? So if it's one or two people, isn't it great that we get to focus on all your challenges? And especially if you're helping people with money, and they're like, there's so many questions about it, right? It's a never ending. So people actually, I think, will be like, that was awesome. I can't wait to come back. Or if a bunch of people show up, isn't this great? We get collective wisdom. So number one, mental thing. That's how I look at it now. And it completely changed because I'm like, yo, I know a lot about speaking. I do. Not tooting my own horn. I've just been doing it for a while, and I've talked to a lot. So I'm happy to help people if they show up and ask questions. So if you show up, I'll pour into you and give you everything I can. So that's mental. Number two, the reason we did these Q&A sessions is because we were getting a bunch of individual emails from people saying, could you jump on a Zoom session? I have a question for you. Could you jump on a Zoom session? I have a question for you. Could you do a phone call? I have a question. And we did, and I did, and we did in the beginning. But then it became like, I can't do all of these individually and still be married and still be a dad, right? So I had to figure out how to streamline it. So he said, okay, let's come up with a set time that if you do have a question that's not like email worthy, you can do it. So that's what created this for us. That was like the beginning. And then what happened is when someone reached out with a question, we then said, that's a wonderful question. Why don't you join us Monday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, because that's when we're going to answer all those questions. And in the beginning, it was challenging because people were used to just jumping on a phone call or a Zoom with me. So there was a little bit like, what you Hasa Diddy now? Oh, you don't want to jump on a call with me? I see. And it's like, no, I genuinely want to help. I physically can't do it. So there was just that baton passing phase. And then the last thing that I would say is our AMAs are a little bit different because we have the centrality of Talkadot as that's the reason we all are here, right? If I was just doing hey y'all, I'm doing a speaking skills workshop, anyone jump on a call and ask me any questions you have, I might have to then build people's trust and gain their confidence and do a lot of things like that. But if these are people that have already seen you speak and you've pulled them from like your Talkadot audience, it's going to be so much easier because they already know you, they already trust you. So I would position it as, like, for example, if I was speaking, I would say, hey, guess what? If you give me your feedback as a thank you, I'm going to give you access to a private community. And I don't know if it's a free community or paid community. I'm not sure how that works. But if it was a free community, as an example, I would say, I'm going to give you access to a free community where you get to ask me any questions that you want about X, Y, or Z. And then you just do your emails and you tell them, you might have to start with content. We do pro trainings, by the way. And in the early stages of our pro trainings, we have one coming up. We're going to do promo for it coming up next week, April 24th. It's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be on CRMs and managing your backend with SpeakerFlow. It's going to be really cool. We're going to send out some promo for that shortly. I think everyone, whether you have a CRM or not, understanding how to architect the backend of your speaking business is crucial for every speaker, period. So whether you go with SpeakerFlow or not, we're going to go for the architecture of the backend. We were doing topics, and then at the end of the topics, we were doing Q&As. That's how we originally started. Topic and then Q&A. But then Q&A, we needed like an hour just for the Q&A because we did the topic and then the Q&A went for like an hour. So I was like, well, I don't want to keep people on a virtual thing for like 3 hours. That's too long. So then we separated them out. So you may want to consider doing topic first with a little bit of Q&A and then move it into just a Q&A session if you notice it's robust. So That was a lot to a short question, but I'm hoping it was at least maybe insightful into what our experience was, and maybe you can borrow from it. Cool. Other questions? Did I get everyone's question? Did I miss any questions in the chat? Let me go to the chat.
Yes, I want to know about the additional adding Facebook and what the challenge is, why it's not already added.
Yes, great question. So it is a purely design element that we're currently fixing at this dev cycle. So what happened was when we originally created the social media accounts, when we created too many accounts, that last page was too long. So people had to scroll to access it. So what we did was say, well, what are the accounts that we think are most public to people? And Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Facebook was more personal. At least that's what we seemed. However, the feedback we kept getting is, I won't put my Facebook, man. What you doing? I won't put my Facebook. So stop it, put it. And we're like, yeah, we're going to do that. And we just haven't built it yet. But that's part of our next dev cycle where we're cleaning things up. So we will have the Facebook thing available. That's the reason we did it. I will also fully acknowledge, if we hear from y'all that stuff's important, we make it important to us. So I appreciate you saying that, because that's why we did it and where we are now.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because last summer I got hacked on my social media and the hacker took everything, but I was able to get everything back except Twitter and Instagram. So that's why I'm relying on Facebook so much. And because of it, I've built Facebook pretty heavily now. So now I got to open up another Instagram and Twitter, but yeah, that's why I've been leaning on it. So I've only had on my Talkadot, LinkedIn and I think just LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I dig it.
Nothing else was available for me.
Do you do your, I'm just curious too, do you do your profile or your page for Facebook?
I have two Facebook pages, one for my business, one for my personal.
Do you have, and I'm just curious, have you built up your Facebook page, which is the business, or your Facebook profile, which is the personal?
The profile has built up.
That has more traction. Yeah.
It's got more traction. Yeah. For some
Here's
reason.
what's so interesting about Facebook. It's like, it's a gift and it all depends. I haven't looked at your numbers. So you have a limit on your Facebook profile of 5,000 friends, right? So after you hit 5,000, people can follow you, but they can't friend you. Now you can send people to your Facebook page, but Facebook does not let your page get any organic reach whatsoever. You'll probably notice, all of us notice, if you post on your profile, you'll get interactions, comments, likes, shares. You post on your page, they're like, do you want to boost it? Yeah. Give me $20, you know? So Facebook's been really interesting because Facebook typically, traditionally has been like friends and family kind of thing. But I personally too, I resonate with you. My Facebook profile has higher traction, way higher than like my Facebook page, Twitter. I just gave up on Twitter. I just said, I'm not going to win the Twitter game, and or X, whatever. So anyway, I resonate with like the effect of it, but also like that 5,000 limit, and then people have to follow you. I don't like, I'm at the 5,000 friend limit on Facebook, so I can't even add people, and I hate it. So I got to constantly go, who's at the bottom of my totem pole? Who's going to get defriended so I can let new people in?
Well, what the other advantage though for Facebook is we all have other pages, not just profile or business. And as you know, I have the meetings and events, industry news for speakers, which I've got 1,500 speakers on there. So when I'm speaking to NSA and I want to refer them to that page, I want that in Talkadot. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I've got other industry, you know, pages that, you know, that they can go to. So it's not just those two pages. We've got other pages out there related to industries that we can have them sign up on. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I promise you we will have the Facebook, and I apologize for not having it originally, but that is something that is on the deck. Yeah. Thank you so much. Cool. What was the thing you said? I think other speakers might want to know. What is the thing you just mentioned?
Oh yeah. The meeting and events industry news for speakers is a Facebook page where, since I come from the hospitality industry, where I bring all the research and articles on a daily basis and post there. So you can learn about the travel industry, the meetings industry, conferences, all in one place. So I've been in it for a long time. I know the resources that speakers are looking for, and we've got like 1,500 speakers on there already. So if you just go to you have to Facebook page.
So here's what I want you to do, Deborah. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to post it in our community. So I put the link in the chat. I want you to be like, hey, y'all, do y'all want to know about the cool resources about what meeting planners care about? And then put your link to your Facebook page, because we want more people into the community. And I want more. I would love for more of our users to do that. And then we can add that to our resource section within Talkadot, because I think that's so
and
cool.
We need to do a webinar on that page too for that whole group. So
I'm here for it.
Okay, cool. I'll put it in the chat here.
Yeah, thanks so much, Deborah. Yeah, so I put the link in. If you want to go into the community, choose a channel and post it. If y'all are like, I want that link, I want to know all about go into our community and access it, because we got the best community in the whole wide world. Rebecca, did you have a question?
I did, yes, just a quick question. I received some feedback from someone right after they filled out the survey. And here's what she said. I had the choice of either scheduling an appointment with you or LinkedIn, but after I did the LinkedIn, I wasn't allowed to schedule with you. Is that true?
No, that's not exactly true. What happens on the phone is that I'm going to ask this question and hopefully it sounds not bad. So if it sounds bad, just forgive me. Was this an older person or a younger person?
She was probably in her 40s.
40s. Okay, that surprises me then, because I thought she would have been older. So typically what happens when you
oh my gosh, is this ageism?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's going to sound bad, and I wanted you to be like
bad,
yeah, it does. And I because typically this is like someone who's not as okay. I'm trying. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna stop digging.
Digging the hole.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my foot out of my mouth. Okay, when someone clicks on it, it opens a new window. So so if they clicked on like LinkedIn, for example, it's gonna pop up LinkedIn. But if they go back to their web browser, that page is still there. And if they click on book a meeting, it's gonna open up a new tab on their phone to go to it. But if they hit the the feature where they could go back to it. So and again, I'm sorry, I didn't want to sound ageist. I'm gonna stop talking. I can't dig myself out of this hole. I hope you know my heart's good. I hope you know my heart's good. So no, it doesn't disappear. It just opens a new tab and they just have to come back to it.
It makes total sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm sweating underneath my sweatshirt now. I'm like sweating. I shouldn't even premised it. What was I thinking? I apologize to all of my seasoned veterans in the house. I'm here for y'all. I care. Let's move on to another question so I can stop sweating so deeply under my sweatshirt here. Any other questionerinos, preguntas, features?
Hey, one quick question. The community is awesome, by the way. I highly encourage everyone to get engaged in it. But what does the summer or the next 6 months hold for what your vision is on what the community could be, or is there any features that you're really excited to bringing to life for the community?
Question. Yeah, great question. So for the community, one of the things that we realize is that we have, and I obviously am biased when I say this, so just know that, but I generally think we have like a collection of the best speakers, right? So there's lots of different speaker communities and they're all wonderful. What I tend to notice is that we're pulling some of the best people from all of those communities within Talkadot, right? So we have people who are part of like high level masterminds, and we think those are great. We never want to compete with any of them. We support those. But what I found is in general, because we have this software, we have so many cool people coming in from like, the Impact 11 group and like lots of other groups, right? So we wanted to create a singular place where our speakers can interact with each other, because we've had speakers who've reached out to me like via email and say, I need a speaker on AI. Do you know anyone, Arel? And then I'm like, oh man, that would be a great thing to post somewhere. And then with the Facebook group, it wasn't getting any traction. Like people just, I don't know, maybe Facebook wasn't like, people would post and then there was no notification. So it was just throwing a cup of water in the ocean. So the reason that we wanted to have the community was a centralized place that, like, if you come into the app, you can access it. If you're like looking at a speaking engagement, a question hits you, you can access it directly. So our main goal with the community is one, for folks to connect with each other, post questions. We want people to be like, hey, I'm Deborah. I got this really, really cool community and people, this really cool feature of and I love that because we've got people like Deborah in our group. That's amazing, who's going to share it. So over the next 6 months, my main vision for it is I want it to be a hub where people can, if they have a question about Talkadot, ask a question and get an answer from the community. And I want people to share their resources. So for example, one of the biggest questions we get from current members is, how do other people tee up Talkadot? What do you give away as your bonus? And there's so many cool things that I've seen, like Susan Fruit, she has one of the coolest setups. She has like an AI dog that talks. Like I don't even know how she did it, but she programmed a dog to be like, my mommy wants you to give us feedback. And if you give her poor feedback, don't worry, she's going to drink a white Zinfandel to make herself feel better afterwards. Like it's like a really like kind of like cute thing. And then you got like John Register, who he created his own rap song. So a rap song plays while people do it. So anyway, so there's lots of like, creative ways. So that's a perfect example of, I would love to create like a thread, and we haven't done it yet because we're still getting people in, but I'd love to create a thread where it's like, how do you tee up Talkadot? What's your best practices? What's your follow-up look like? Because like I've given my email templates, but like I'm 99.9% confident someone has created a really good follow-up sequence and be like, yo, here's how I'm doing my follow-up sequence when I get my booking leads. And then people can crowdsource that and share that. So that's my vision for the community. And I think we'll get there because we have such great people. It's just a matter of getting people into that habit of knowing I should share, I should go there. And it goes without saying, like, I trust our users because I think there's a certain culture that's built here. Like, we are the best, we lift as we climb. I think people post to be helpful, not like, you've seen groups where it gets fantastic and you're like, I'm never coming back. I've never experienced that with this group, and I hope we don't ever experience it. We just have really good people. So that's what I hope happens there.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you asking that question. Yeah, it's gonna be lots of fun. And the other thing too, which I'll add, we have so many cool resources that we were just like emailing to people. So people would be like, could you send me that email again? And it's like, here it is. It's in this place. You can get it whenever you want. Because then like, I'll be like, oh gosh, where's that email? Like we had speaker contracts. Like we did a training and we put together a contract template. And people were like, yo, that's really cool. Can I have it? I'm like, sure. And I emailed it to people. And then people were like, I can't find it. Can you resend it? And then I'm resending it. And I'll be like, here it is. Just go get it, baby. Go out there and get them contracts. YB, what's up, brother?
Do you have any plans to host in-person meetups? I know that's, I've been in communities where it's been all virtual and then they open it up to do some in-person connects. I actually had somebody say that they was actually in Richmond, Virginia, and had they known that I was in Richmond, they would have invited me to the event. So are you creating an environment where, you're doing events, maybe even with you, like if you're in a certain place, you're letting folks know, hey, I'm gonna be in Virginia, come holler at me if you're a Talkadot member or something of that nature?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We have like that's something that's probably on the table, but like in the future. We've got like other things on the roadmap that we want to do. But I literally just posted that, by the way, like very similarly. I'm going to be speaking in New York City on May 5th. And I was like, yo, if anybody in New York City wants to come check me out, see me do my thing and like meet up afterwards, I'm down for the cause. So I think stuff like that naturally, like if people want to say things like, yo, I'm speaking in Virginia, like if people want to post that, like I'm speaking in Virginia, because what's cool about having other speakers come out is they could take photos, they know how to like work, they know how to work it in a way that like a random person doesn't. So if anybody needs support, like if you're selling books from the back of the stage and you need support, like I know as a speaker, I would love to see YB speak in person. I would love it. Why? Because I'm not only listening to your content, which of course is important. I want to know how do you bake the bread, man? Like what's your secret? I want to see it, because we as speakers can see things that like other people will never. I'll be like, ooh, they did this dope thing. I love the fact that I'm gonna start doing that, and I never thought about doing that before. So I think the more we can create that, I think like the better we'll be. So I think one, creating a space for that would be cool, and then eventually creating like in-person stuff. I think it makes all the sense in the world to me, but it's like it's not going to happen this year. maybe next year or a year after that. Yeah, but I think it's a great idea, YB. I don't know what your name is, so I'm going to say women aware and and prepared. I'm not sure what your name. What is your name?
Hi, my name is Mandy.
Hey,
I
Mandy.
was just making sure I'm not on mute.
You are not on mute. Yeah.
Not on mute. I'm good. Okay. I am brand new, so I just did a presentation last week and I was like, ooh, I made the Talkadot super quick. And so I got it and people did the survey and now I'm trying to figure out what's next. I don't think I signed up for Pro yet. So does that mean that I don't have access to their email?
Are you on a, no, you do have access to their email. So let me share with you. So here's what happens next. So you just gave a talk. I don't know if you feel comfortable with it, but I can log into your account and share your screen, or I can show you mine and then show you what it would look like in yours. Whichever one you prefer is totally fine with me. Whichever's more helpful. Do you want me to just show
I don't
mine?
even remember my login stuff. I don't have it with me, so maybe just show me yours.
Yeah, I could get in. I got the admin panel. I got the super access, but I'll just show you what to do. Okay. So you just spoke. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. The first thing that you want to do is when you come in, did you add your speaking engagement ahead of time or did you not add it ahead of time?
No.
No worries. So it's going to look like this. I'm just going to delete that. So when you log into your account, oh, let me just save this. Oop, I got to move the windows. Boop. Okay. When you log into your account, you want to scroll down. If you need help logging in, reach out to hello@talkadot.com or just put forgot password and you'll get an email with it. It's going to look like this one right here on March 6th. So it's going to say add details. Now, a couple of things are important for you to do right away and just get into the habit of it. The first thing is if you just click on the report to see what people say without naming the organization or what you spoke about, our report's just going to say speaking engagement report because we don't know what it's called. It's generic. So what you want to do is where it says add details, those blue words, you just want to click on it and then put like the title of your talk, which is like, I'm going to make it up, how to be more aware and prepared. Okay. Prepared. And I spoke to Nike, right? And then you hit save changes. And then the name of the organization and the talk title will be here. So when you click on your report to see it, it'll have the name of the group you spoke to and that. So the report itself will be a little bit more robust. Then you can click on share this report right here. And then when you click download report, it'll turn it into an image like this for you. And it'll have the name of who you spoke to and the title. And then you can click to download this and you can share this on social media and say, hey, I just spoke to this group. Here's what they had to say. If you click download testimonials, it'll take the first one or two testimonials, 2 or 3, excuse me, and put it onto one image for you. So you can say, here's what some people are saying. The other thing you can do is just pick the testimonial you like, 3 dots at that testimonial and then download shareable testimonial. And then it'll throw the testimonial onto an image. And again, you can click to download it. And I recommend sharing these on social media to be like, here's my measurable impact and here's what people are saying. Okay. So that's like share it. And then the third thing I would do with the report is I would go to share this report and go to copy report link. And I would email this report to your client. As long as you like the score. If you sucked, go back to the drawing board and figure it out, right? But I don't think you did. I think you did probably just fine. So I would email the report link to your host and say, hey, thanks so much for bringing me in. I wanted to share with you the data of what people had to say. They like that. If you want to get rebooked by the audience, this is a good stat. Hey, 93% of the audience said they want to hear me speak again. So if we could ever do another event, I would love to do so because the data says this is a good look, right? So I would do that. And this is all part of the Light account. So everything I'm sharing with you, you can do right now. Now for the leads, the email addresses, the people you want to follow up with. On the top right hand, it says My Leads. You want to go ahead and click on that. And then you're going to have a couple of categories here. you're going to have a booking category, a referral category, an email opt-in, and then archive and all. Really, these first three are most important to you right now. Archived and all mean more to you over time, right? So booking is going to be everyone who said, I book speakers, I'd like to book you, please get in touch with me. So you want to follow up with these people. You want to, if they gave you their phone number, give them a phone call. If they gave you an email, give them an email, right? On any of these people, you can click the drop down arrow and see how they rated you. If they gave you feedback, well, none of these people actually gave me, there we go. If they gave you feedback, it'll show up here. So if you wanted to see this information before you emailed them, you can, just to make sure, like if they said anything you wanted to reference, you can do so. You can also select all and then download them as a CSV file. So if you wanted to like put them into MailChimp or ConvertKit or something like that. Yeah. We also have a Zapier integration. If you use Zapier, you can connect Talkadot directly to your MailChimp, your whatever, ConvertKit, whatever, email software services you use, you can do that as well. Yeah, and so the booking leads are all the people who said, I book speakers, I want to book you. The referral leads are people who said, I don't book speakers, but I can introduce you to someone who does. And then the email opt-ins are all of the people who said, please add me to your email list and stay in touch with me. So I would download these people and put them into either your current newsletter or your brand new newsletter that you're building now that you can actually start getting email addresses, right? And that's how I would use these three categories.
Cool. That's super helpful. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Okay. So also, yes, thank you, Marissa, for pointing that out. In about 25 minutes at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, we do what's called an onboarding session. So if any of you are somewhat new, or you just want to make sure you fully understand the whole kit and caboodle of how Talkadot works, I do a live session via Zoom in about 25 minutes where I'm going to walk through everything. So if you'd like to join that, you 100% can. If anyone else would like to join that, we do those every single week to make sure that you know how to use the functionality. Sometimes you don't know what questions to ask. We cover everything in that session. So you're more than welcome to attend if you could. And if you can't attend today, we do them every week, so you can attend a future one if you like.
So I have some questions pertaining to that format. It's my clients are asking, what's that number at the top? And I know that number means how many we have totaled.
Yes.
Not just their program, but other people's program. But it's confusing when they see, like I have like 188 and they're like, we don't have 188 people in our session. We only had, 100. So they see that, yeah, there it is, that 4,259. Yeah, they see that in their report. So they're like, why is that number there?
Yep.
And then second of all, when I download the testimonials, some of the testimonials repeat. So I'll have it on the first one because I gather them every 3 or 4. I wish they all came in one so I can send the client just the one sheet, but I have to send them only 3 or 4 at a time.
Do you know about the merge feature?
Maybe I'm missing that one.
This might help you. So thank you for that feedback about here. So what we ideally wanted to do is say, hey, overall, this is how I'm doing. And then your group gave us 12 responses. But if they're getting confused by that, that's a good data point for us to like keep track of, because we want this. Because some people are like, oh, only 12 people responded, it's not going to look great. But it's like, no, but over time. So, but that's helpful feedback for us to know. And I'm going to make a note of that for us to have a conversation about how to maybe make it.
I don't know what that would look like, but it's confusing my clients. Because they see that first. Maybe the 12 response needs to go on top. I don't know.
No, it's super helpful. Like, thank you for letting us know. Like our job, like this feedback helps us get better. So like, please, whenever there's any confusion from you or a client, I cannot thank you enough for sharing us with it, because we're going to make improvements and make it better. So this is how the merge feed, actually, let me log out of this account. I'm going to log into my burner account so I can share with you. So we have something called a merge feature. The way the merge feature works is, so you see how I have these like stray responses that have come in here. So all you would have to do is click on this box here. And let's say these 3 actually belonged with this one. All you would then do is click on these then, and you'll see they're a lighter green. So all of these then, you would click here. I'm not gonna do it because I just keep this account to show people. You would click confirm, and then it would move all of those responses into one report. So if someone gives you feedback like now and then like 45 minutes later, they give you feedback, which is outside of our 30-minute window, our system will create a separate report. You can just merge those into one report and just share that one report link. And if as new ones come in and you merge them, it'll automatically update that link.
Yes, I think that is a great feature, but it's one step beyond that. It's when you get just to the testimonials.
Okay.
Just the testimonials, where you can download the testimonials.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that, the report only shows 3 or 4.
Yes.
But I want to share all of them with my clients. So is there any way to merge all the testimonials into one report?
I don't think, hold on, I don't know if I'm following the question. Hold on, let me log in my account here and make sure I'm grasping it. So you are, hold on. Okay.
I'm ready to share. I'm ready. I'm at the point where.
Oh yeah, if you could share your screen, that would be amazing. Yeah.
No. I mean, I want to share the testimonial.
Hold on. 1 second.
I mean, I can
all right,
show
so
you.
I'm at, no, we just doing on mine. So I'm on my report and
right
you
here.
want to share.
It's okay. At the top, it says share, go to the top, share this report. Then I download the testimonials.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so you only have 3. See,
Yes.
I have like, when I get like 20 of them, I want to do one report of just 20 of them all together. Instead, I have to send them 3 or 4 at a time. Like
yes. So do you, all right, so I think I'm grasping your question. So you're saying like, I want to send them all of the testimonials.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes. And some people use the feedback as testimonial. So I send the feedback too, but the only way I can send the feedback is to take a screenshot of it.
Yeah, so this is, okay, I think I'm grasping your point here. So there are a couple of things you can currently do within our current system. And if this doesn't work, maybe we can think of a new way to like actually do this. So this is helpful. Do you share the copy report link with folks? Do you ever give them the link to the report?
No.
Okay. Is there a reason you don't, or you just haven't yet?
I wasn't sure if I wanted them to see the probably not.
Well,
be honest.
Okay, so
even if I said 1.
not uncommon to have that fear. Now, the only thing that I will say, which is actually beneficial, is like in this case, like I've got some not valuables. I've got some other reports where I've gotten like much lower scores, right? Where it's like, you know, now I tend to find like, you know, I changed the name just now so it doesn't look real, right? But like I got 2 probably nots. It actually makes it look real. If you go to like an Amazon, if you want to buy a product, if you saw an Amazon product with nothing but 5 stars, no 4, no 3, no 2, no 1, you wouldn't believe it. It's like when I go to like a business's website and we've got 10,000 5-star reviews. I'm like, you built the website. I don't trust that. Seeing the like, you know, 2 probably nots, it actually creates more honesty that they can trust it. So I would share that if you had like 50% probably not, I probably wouldn't share that report personally. I wouldn't, right? But if I'm in like 80s or 90s, I'm very confident in sharing it. When you share this report link, the report link they get is a little bit different than the report link you see. So let me show you what theirs looks like. So, and I think this is helpful for everyone to know. Okay, so this is what your report link looks like. You've got the ability to click share this report, download, do all that. You've got the ability to click here and download here. You've got the ability to click here and view testimonial data here, right? You can do that. When you share a public report, number 1, they can't download the image. That share this report feature is gone. And the ability for them to drill in and view anyone's personal information is also not there. So when you share the report, they are getting the data, but you're not compromising anyone's information. And then if they click view all right here next to attendee testimonials, they can then see all of the testimonials themselves on the report. So if you were like, hey, I wanted them to see everything, I would recommend sharing the copy of the report link, because the reason we built it this way, at least the intention of the functionality, was to share like 1 or 2 highlights. Like, ooh, here's like what a couple of people said. Click on this link to see the full report. So it's kind of like a highlight, and then this is the detail. So that's the way we built it. But if there was like, I wanted to share it differently, let me know, because this is how we get better.
Okay, I'll try that, definitely. And it's not just the testimonials, they'll see the feedback also?
Yeah, so, this is important. The suggestions for improvement, you will only see.
Okay.
The attendee feedback and the testimonials, they will see.
Okay, I'll try that.
So
thank you.
If you, did I delete it? Oh, I think I deleted I deleted it. Yes, so what I would recommend doing in the future is, again, copy the report link, give them a couple of highlights. If you want to see everything, click. So they have that optionality, but they've also seen they've seen what you've sent, and a lot of people go, cool.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, cool. All right, thank you all for being here. This is so fun. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Do incredible things, impact lives, make a difference. Find out about Deborah's amazing Facebook page in our Talkadot community group. All right, y'all. Listen, if you have friends who are speakers, tell them about Talkadot, unless they're jerks. We have a no jerk policy. If they're jerks, tell them you use Google Forms and Canva. Okay. But if you like them, tell them about Talkadot. I'll see y'all later.